You're listening to the Acadiana's Morning News Podcast, brought to you by LABI and always on KPEL965.com.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Louisiana.
This message presented by the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association.
If you really want to support our troops, just contact the USO.
You can't believe how much they do for us.
To find out how you can help, visit us at uso.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studio. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
The jury will start to deliberate today. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. At the Trump trial, following instructions from the judge this morning, the day after closing arguments focused on ex-Trump lawyer Michael Cohen paying Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about an alleged Trump affair before the 2016 election.
And man, did the jurors hear an earful about Cohen from Trump attorney Todd Blanche yesterday. He called him a gloat, the greatest liar of all time, an admitted perjurer who cannot be believed. But prosecutor Joshua Steinglass said there is a mountain of evidence against Trump that corroborates Cohen. Trump, he said, tried to, quote, hoodwink the American voter by engaging in a conspiracy and a cover-up. The goal was, quote, to unlawfully influence the 2016 election.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the court in New York. The former president denies the charge of falsifying records, reimbursing Cohen. His daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, Republican National Committee co-chair, tells Fox
they didn't prove anything directly related to Donald Trump.
Days after that Trump rally in New York City, reaching out to minority voters.
President Biden and Vice President Harris are headed back to Philadelphia today. We've heard that before. Biden has visited Pennsylvania more than any other state as president outside his home state of Delaware. Biden will be unveiling a new coalition to court black voters where he's been losing support. Donald Trump has seen his share of the black vote rise to over 20% this year. Biden has lost 17% going back to the past 4 years.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, a Republican congressman, survived a GOP challenge in Texas. Tony Gonzalez narrowly won a primary runoff against Brandon Herrera, who'd been backed by some House conservatives. Texas got hit with some more severe storms with hurricane-force winds.
This, unfortunately, will be a multi-day power outage situation.
Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins, there are nearly 500,000 outages now from there down to Houston. A teenager was killed when two houses under construction collapsed. In addition to the death and destruction, weekend tornadoes caused Texas to Kentucky. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-887-1010. That's 800-887-1010.
Fighting rages in Rafah, considered to be Hamas's last stronghold in Gaza. Israel's military says 3 soldiers were killed in a booby trap explosion after a series of airstrikes targeting Hamas in recent days killed more than 80 Palestinians. Many of them were civilians who died after a tent camp caught fire Sunday, which Israel says might have been caused by Hamas weapons exploding after an airstrike.
Calling the loss of life in Rafah heartbreaking and horrific, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says early information points to a secondary explosion after a successful airstrike on 2 Hamas leaders.
The Israelis have said this was a tragic mistake. They're going to investigate that. We're going to let them do that.
Kirby says the U.S. also continues to oppose a major ground operation in Rafah that would put civilians at greater risk.
We have not seen them do that at this point, but we're watching it very closely.
Asked if this airstrike could result in any changes in U.S. policy, Kirby said no. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Spain's prime minister met today with the Palestinian prime minister in Madrid after Spain and Ireland and Norway recognized the Palestinian state. On Wall Street, more selling is brewing for the Dow. Futures down big the morning after a 216-point Dow drop, but the NASDAQ rose again, closing at a new record high yesterday. In the NBA, the finals aren't set yet. The battle for the Western Conference title continues.
Minnesota stayed alive in Game 4, beating Dallas 105-100 to force a Game 5 in Minneapolis. Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists on the night. The win comes one day after the Celtics swept the Pacers to win the Eastern Conference and head back to the finals for the second time in 3 seasons. Game 1 of the NBA Finals is not until June 6th, which means the NBA was staring at over a week without games until the start of the finals. I'm Joe Morgan, Fox News.
In hockey, Florida beat the New York Rangers in overtime to tie that series. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truart is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. Power has been restored to Acadiana after Tuesday's storms blew through. The severe weather produced winds of up to 60 miles an hour and caused isolated damage in Acadia Parish and knocked out electricity in parts of Acadiana. KATC meteorologist Daniel Phillips says to expect cloudy conditions and rain chances through the week. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday, when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate headcounts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. Travis says they were turned away by family members who called the police. The two men are considered armed and dangerous. State Senator Cleo Fields, who is a Democrat, says he will seek to represent the state's new majority black 6th district. But U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson believes current district representative Garrett Graves can still win because the presidential race is at the top of the ballot. Graves has said he may run in another district now that the demographics of his district have changed. But Johnson said during an appearance on Talk Louisiana that he opposes that idea. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
This hour of Acadiana's Morning News has been brought to you by Jani King. The King of Clean has been a leader in the cleaning industry on the Gulf Coast for over 35 years. To find out more about their cleaning and disinfecting services, head to their website at janiking.com.
I've been thinking about a couple of years ago where every 3 or 4 months I had to go to the hospital to get one of those epidural injections. If you've suffered with back pain and sought medical treatment for it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, sometimes they helped and they were wonderfully effective. Other times they didn't. And I just had to deal with it. I had to figure out ways to manage it, whether it was laying on a heating pad or eating Advil like it was candy. And I became a client of the Good Feet store in December, and I haven't had to go to the doctor as frequently. I haven't had to have any of the epidural injections because not only are those not fun, they interrupt life. The Good Feet store really has been a game changer for me. Has it cured every pain that I have? Absolutely not. But I don't deal with back pain every single day like I did prior to becoming a client of the Good Feet store. Go by the Good Feet store today. This could be the answer that you are looking for. Go by today. The Good Feet store, Ambassador Caffrey, right next to Chicken Salad. Party at Rock and Bowl all weekend, starting on Thursday with Mason Trail. Friday, Dustin Saunier and The Wanted. Saturday, The Chiwis plus Few Blue. Sunday, Step Rito and Zydeco Outlaws. Tickets now at rockandbowl.com. God bless you, God love you, and thank God for you.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now. Through June 2nd, the fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Roads are all clear this morning if you're heading out early. Check this out, though. Temperature, 68 degrees. We'll take it. Good morning and welcome into Acadiana's Morning News. On this Wednesday, you need to remember that it's Wednesday even though it feels like Tuesday. Yeah, I'm totally fine with it being Wednesday. I like short weeks. How you doing over there, Mark?
Oh, doing good, especially with that 68 you just told me about. I knew it felt good.
Yeah, it does. It feels really good out there. Today is May the 29th. It is, let's see, National Flip-Flop Day. Excuse me. It's always the Wednesday after Memorial Day. I did not get that memo. It's National Coq au vin Day. Isn't that duck?
It looks like some kind of yard bird.
Yeah, I think it's duck. It is National Senior Health and Fitness Day. And it's National Paperclip Day. Not exactly sure why it is celebrated, quote unquote, today. But if I can get this to go away. There we go. Go away. My computer's, it's not awake. Each year, it celebrates a small but handy invention. Now, while many have claimed early invention of the paperclip, according to the Early Office Museum, Samuel B. Fay received the first patent for what he called a bent wire paperclip in the U.S. in 1867. Now, the original intention of the clip was to attach tickets to fabric, but U.S. Patent 64,088 recognized that paperclips could also hold papers together. A little interesting piece of useless trivia for you this morning that you can, impress your friends with. On this date in 1977, Janet Guthrie became the first woman to race in the Indianapolis 500, finishing in 29th place. The winner of that particular race was A.J. Foyt. But now you see Danica Patrick. However, there's not a lot of women on the racing scene. Excuse me.
It's a tough business.
Well, no kidding. Although there are people that drive on the roadways that pretend they're in the Indianapolis 500. On this date in 1988, President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev opened their historic summit in Moscow. I remember that because it was a really big deal.
Yep.
And on this date in 2004, the World War II Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C., and it was dedicated by President George W. Bush. It is profound to visit that.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a big wall, the memorial wall.
World War II, it's these big columns. It's in a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have the wall. I think they have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and the Korean Memorial is, there aren't any words. But if you ever have the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and see all of these memorials, do yourself a favor. You will come back with a completely different mindset about what it means to sacrifice for our country.
Yep.
Pretty incredible. It is May the 29th. On the agenda today, we have our Mayor's Minutes when we're joined this morning by Mayor Ray Bork from today, Duson. Yeah. Johnny Thibodeaux is going to be in with us today. We haven't spoken to him before, but today is his day. And then coming up at 8 o'clock, we'll visit with Lafayette Parish School Superintendent Francis Touchette and someone to talk about the traditional superintendent's golf tournament that they hold every year.
Wow.
And this year will be no exception. KPEL News Time is 6:17.
Media Minute with Howard Kurtz.
Highlights and lowlights from yesterday's closing arguments in the hush money trial. Going more than 4 hours, as the prosecutors did? Ridiculous. Eyes were glazing over. They lost the jury. Didn't have to be that long. Having Robert De Niro hold a Biden campaign press conference when the president has been so careful not to inject himself into this, to me, that's a firing offense. It was so stupid. Both sides were selective and misleading. That's how it works. People who were there said that the prosecutor did a much better job than the defense did, but you can pick through all of the details and so forth, and how much information can everyone absorb. And reporters in the overflow room were laughing at a lot of the anti-Trump digs. With your Media Minute, Howie Kurtz, Fox News.
Fox on Tech. What if the secret sauce of search engines is no longer secret?
Google has yet to comment on a supposed leak of 2,500 pages containing exactly how Google ranks websites for when you search for stuff on Google's search page. The information is published on SparkToro.com this week, and so far it's become a sensational topic for tech blogging. But what the documents claim to show is how Google can reward or punish publishers based on content or even domain names, especially if the Google algorithm felt the publisher was trying to work the algorithm to get listed higher in query results, and that click data from Chrome-based browsers was also factored into rankings. This was especially at play during elections and during the COVID-19 pandemic, where Google was whitelisting certain sites based on what information it would show viewers on those topics. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And it looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Still all clear on the roadways, and it's a very pleasant 68 degrees outside. Good morning and welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News, 6:23 on this Wednesday morning. Tracy Wertz, Mark Pope joining you. And at 9 o'clock Central Time, the Trump trial continues. But today, the jury will get their instruction on how to deliberate, how that all will go. I don't know if it's going to be anything out of the ordinary. You said you watched some of the coverage yesterday.
Yeah, mostly commentary. Fox News has, their television reporting has a constant blurb in the upper right-hand corner, and it tells you what is being said in real time at the trial. So, yeah, you get kind of an update, if you will, on what's going on. And we just heard Howie Kurtz just before this segment, Tracy, talking about eyes were glazing over. I mean, it went all day long.
Yeah, he said, 4 hours? It was crazy.
Yeah,
crazy long.
Long time. Maybe 4 hours for the defense, and then the prosecution stepped in. So all I know, it was all day long. And Howie Kurtz reported that some of the, quote, jurors are lost. I don't know if that's from body language or what. Mm-hmm. You can't scream out, enough is enough. But that's kind of what, the brief summary of the closing arguments, as it were. Now it's jury deliberation. Mm-hmm. The trial, the jury has said, we will work overtime. If need be, we'll work past. It seems like they want to be done with this. I don't know. Look, it's a criminal trial. I do believe it has to be a unanimous vote to convict Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. I don't see that, because what is the crime? We haven't even heard about what the crime is. It's an expired misdemeanor that supposedly was used to implement, if you will, another misdemeanor, and they're being called criminal. It's being called criminal charges.
And what's his name? Not Brett Baer. Sean Hannity, maybe. On Fox last night said, no, it wasn't him either. It is Sean Hannity. It was Sean Hannity. I apologize. Yeah, Sean Hannity said, where is the evidence Trump violated the law? And I was looking because you said something about Robert De Niro getting up to the podium and kind of raging. Did you see that happen?
I did. I think it was live. And there was a podium outside of the courthouse and a microphone, and there were some other folks who don't have a well-known name or face recognition. But De Niro just went off Trump's a danger to democracy. He's crazy. He's insane. He's going to destroy our country, and then he's going to destroy the world. There you have the quick summary of what Robert De Niro said.
On the flip side, I found it, Mark, Dennis Quaid, who was married to, I think, Meg Ryan for a while, he argued recently on television in an interview that rather than politics, it was the weaponization of the justice system and his policy record that ultimately convinced Dennis Quaid to vote for former President Trump, which is interesting because of, he's mired in that Hollywood mentality, et cetera. However, he seems to be falling more on the conservative side of things. And I always find it very ironic that the people who are the majority of the people who fall in that 1%, upper income in the United States, et cetera, can stand in their ivory towers and preach to us how we need to take care of everybody, but they certainly aren't letting go of their bucks to do it.
No, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
I think about that often. Like, okay, I understand taking care of our fellow man. I'm totally fine with that. If you're hungry, we'll feed you. If you're naked, we'll clothe you. I mean, it's all in the Bible. But, when you're sitting up there in your $22 million mansion in one of the Beverly Hills or wherever they live, I don't see you writing a check.
No, look, I hear you. And Donald Trump is not trying to get away from the social safety net, as it were. And our country was better off. That's just actual and factual economic numbers. And you talked about actors, and you were trying to recall if there was another actor who spoke out. Well, at that Bronx rally, there were a couple of rappers there.
Yes, I saw that. I don't know them. Yeah.
I do not know their name. And look, here I'm reading from other headlines from Fox Business from May 13th. Ice Cube. We know that name, steps up and endorses Donald Trump. How about let's go down south? Let's go to the Big Easy. How about right here in our great state, Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Home of Lil Wayne, New Orleans. Lil Wayne endorsing Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. So the celebs are coming out, and people are they're just.
Well, we're going to be voting with our pocketbooks more than ever.
That's right.
This time because of the hit that we've all taken. You go to the grocery store, and that's the thing. It's one thing for the price of, clothing or, household goods, that kind of, even vehicles to go up. It's a whole different thing when you go to the grocery store and you are spending 25 to 50% more.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what people say.
That's right.
Oh, it's only, inflation's only at 0.3%. Well, I don't know, because when I go to the grocery store, what I can buy today for $50 is a lot less than it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and we're talking, high single-digit percentage. Inflation's up from the start of the Biden administration, 6-7%. Is your salary 6 and 7% higher?
Good
even
point,
if
Mark.
it is, even if your salary increase matches inflation, you're still behind the 8 ball.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you're right. Voting with the wallet, I think, is top of the list. And you've got all the other things. You've got, the southern border, foreign policy. That's Henry Kissinger.
Yeah.
By the way. and a whole load of other issues that people are looking at. And the survey says that our country is on the wrong road. We're on the wrong path.
KPEL News Time, 6:30.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Lafayette Consolidated Government has its Household Hazardous Waste Day, Saturday, June 1st, 8 a.m. till noon at North Gate Mall. You must live in the city of Lafayette or unincorporated parts of Lafayette Parish to properly dispose of paint, poison, insecticide, pesticide, and a whole lot more. Get the complete list of items accepted and not accepted at their website, LafayetteLA.gov. Lafayette Consolidated Government also offering something else, now taking applications for the Youth Advisory Council. This is for youngsters in 9th through 12th grade who reside in Lafayette Parish to learn all about Lafayette Consolidated Government. Deadline to apply is June 15th. There is a very nominal application process, very easy. It includes a letter of reference from a teacher. Get all the details at LafayetteLA.gov.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truard is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. Power has been restored to Acadiana after Tuesday's storms blew through. The severe weather produced winds of up to 60 miles an hour and caused isolated damage in Acadia Parish and knocked out electricity in parts of Acadiana. KATC meteorologist Daniel Phillips says to expect cloudy conditions and rain chances through the week. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday, when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate head counts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. Travis says they were turned away by family members who called the police. The 2 men are considered armed and dangerous. State Senator Cleo Fields, who is a Democrat, says he will seek to represent the state's new majority black 6th district. But U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson believes current district representative Garrett Graves can still win because the presidential race is at the top of the ballot. Graves has said he may run in another district now that the demographics of his district have changed. But Johnson said during an appearance on Talk Louisiana that he opposes that idea. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
Pack your bags. We want to send you and a guest to experience the magic of Def Leppard's Summer Stadium Rock Tour this August. We want to fly you and a guest to San Antonio, Texas, where you'll see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band in concert at the one and only Alamo Dome. What do you need to do? It's simple. Just listen to News Talk 96.5 KPEL weekdays for the codes you'll need to enter. Every day between now and June 7th at 9, 12, and 3 p.m., you're going to get a code. Enter that into the KPEL app, and you've got a chance to win. You'll get 2 tickets to see Def Leppard with Journey and the Steve Miller Band at the Alamo Dome on Friday, August 16th. Round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night hotel stay, and $500 spending money. If you don't have the KPEL app, you need to download it immediately. Listen every day at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the Summer Stadium Rock Tour with Def Leppard and Journey on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Father's Day is 2 weeks away. I know. And I'm going to send you to Neighbors Pharmacy to check out their gift selection. Yes, Neighbors Pharmacy. I was perusing their website, and let me tell you, they have got some of the coolest gifts for Dad for this Father's Day. They've got the universal can cooler. You know those cool, it's not just the normal koozie. It's the ones that he really likes. They've got tumblers. They've got LSU wallets. They've got cool socks. They've got a barbecue lovers kit. You need to go by Neighbors Pharmacy. Really, their gift selection is fantastic. And they've got bog bags in stock in all the colors you'd want. Neighbors Pharmacy, they're on Johnston Street, right near West Broussard. And remember, too, they're offering those semaglutide drops. If you've been wanting to do that, you've been wanting to do the semaglutide to lose some weight, and you don't want to have to deal with needles, this is the answer for you. Go by Neighbors Pharmacy and ask all the questions you want. Ask them how to talk to your doctor about getting a prescription so that you can shed those pounds. Remember, too, that Neighbors Pharmacy has free delivery. Yes, you don't have to worry about, oh, my gosh, I forgot my medicine. I got to go run to the pharmacy. They will bring it to you. Neighbors Pharmacy, call them today, 337-706-7706. And go check out their gift selection. You can visit them online, too, to see what's available, just like I did. NeighborsPharmacy.com.
Attention fishermen. The fish are biting across the state, and now is a perfect opportunity to be on the water. Hunters for the Hungry is a nonprofit that encourages sportsmen in Louisiana to donate a portion of their game or fish to the hungry of our state through food banks. Now you can also help by providing a monetary donation when you purchase your fishing or hunting license online at WLF.louisiana.gov or your local license provider. Please check yes and donate to Hunters for the Hungry. Follow Hunters for the Hungry on Facebook and Instagram for more ways to show that sportsmen who care, share.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s. With more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. That looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
No accidents on the roadways. That's good news this morning. It feels fantastic. 68 degrees as you step out the door. Good morning and welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News on this Wednesday. It is May the 29th. Mark, May is almost over already.
I know. It's mind-boggling.
The legislative session must end by Monday, but the regular session, but the chatter is that it could end on Friday, or it may end on Friday, which probably means, honestly, Mark, that it will end on Thursday because none of them work on Friday. If you go to their schedule, they're never in session on Friday.
Yeah, it's what it seems like. And then you got the weekend. The legislature, have been known to work through the weekend, but there's nothing really that pressing. We were wondering earlier in the week, you and I, about the ESA bill and where it stood.
And right now, today, you may have heard in the news, the House has approved it with amendments, and it now has to go back to the Senate.
Yeah.
But it looks like that will pass this legislative session with a lot of changes, by the way. Funding, how it's funded, through the funding limits, the funding caps. It doesn't mention previously in Julie's bill, I think there was a figure of like $5,100 would be available to families per year. I believe they took that out. They took out that kind of language. It would start rolling out in 2025. Essentially, the Senate bill, which the one that both the House and the Senate so far have approved, is the Senate bill, not Julie Emerson's bill. And the senator who wrote it made a lot of concessions to get it passed. So it doesn't have the teeth, if you will, that it did, that Julie's version did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that is part of what those committees do, ask those relevant questions pertaining to funding and so on. So, it's hard to follow, each and every step on these bills of interest to the general public, and that education savings account bill is certainly one of those. It's kind of like chasing a wild goose.
Sometimes, yeah.
Governor
Landry signed 14 legislative bills into law on Tuesday, yesterday, including the legislation that provides the 25-foot buffer zone around police officers. You might have heard that in the news. Classifies abortion pills as controlled substances, those two very specific pills, but it said that doctors can still prescribe them for anything that's non-abortion related. That, I think, is going to be very sticky. But nonetheless, it has been signed into law. Others that have been signed into law that will affect the majority of the state, it allows the insurance, or one of them allows the insurance commissioner to subpoena information related to insurance fraud, the nitrous oxide bill. Another one bars school administrators from discouraging teachers who wish to recommend discipline for students who violate school policy or disrupt the classroom. So I think that goes against administrators who say, you know what, let's just not rock the boat, ruffle feathers, whatever. Mm-hmm. This bill says, no, you can't do that. Teachers need to be allowed the latitude to recommend students who are disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. One that created some chatter early on prohibits misleading labels on seafood that indicate imported products are from Louisiana. It also requires restaurants to notify customers when they sell imported crawfish or shrimp. I think that existed prior to this bill being passed, but again, this one gives it more teeth. That seems to be my metaphor today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And another bill by Senator Beth Mizell requires insurance plans to cover certain drugs when doctors prescribe them for postpartum depression. And finally, another law bars state agencies from enforcing rules or mandates from the World Health Organization, United Nations, or the World Economic Forum. That, of course, in direct response to what happened with the COVID-19 pandemic. So things are making their way through. Doesn't look like the Constitutional Convention is going to make any headway this particular session. So it will be interesting to see what happens in the months to come. KPEL News Time, 6:47.
Democracy 24.
President Trump took the stage in the South Bronx in a blue state and an even bluer city. Thousands showed up. Many of those in line were both Latin American and Black Americans. We were able to talk to voters, and they said they are upset with the border because their families immigrated here legally. Others said that crime was a big issue, that they had changed their affiliation from the Democrat Party to the Republican. Energized voters like Anson Paul from the Bronx says the discontent within the Democrat Party is growing, particularly among minorities, and to not count them out.
This is just like a small microcosm of what's happening nationwide. You know, if the sentiment is growing pro-Trump here in the Bronx, hopefully it's the same thing echoing in in Michigan.
President Trump is narrowing the gap in the Empire State. President Biden has a lead of just 9 points, according to the latest Siena College poll. In the South Bronx, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
You have to eat right and exercise. Isn't that what the doctor tells you every time you say, I need to drop a few pounds? Well, if you think, okay, I can maybe eat right, but that whole exercise thing, no way. I can't walk. My knees hurt. My feet hurt. My hips hurt. My back hurts. I don't want to hurt that bad. Well, I might have an answer for you. The Good Feet store. Yes, the Good Feet store. Go by and check out their arches. Take a test walk. See if it works for you. If your feet do hurt and you just have all this general achiness, you're tired all the time. Maybe your spouse wants you to go walking with them and you can't. If pain is keeping you from doing the things in life that you want to do or that you enjoy doing, you owe it to yourself to go to the Good Feet store and take a test walk today. No appointment is required. Just walk into the Good Feet store and tell them Tracy sent you because you heard all of the success that she had. I've been telling you that my back pain has been alleviated over these last months since I've been a Good Feet client. That could be you too. Go to the Good Feet store. They're on Ambassador Caffrey right next to Chicken Salad Chick. Don't you owe it to yourself to live pain-free? Don't you owe it to yourself just to go in and check it out? The Good Feet store. Go by today. Again, no appointment is necessary. They're located on Ambassador Caffrey right next to Chicken Salad.
Did you know that every year 11 to 1,200 children are experiencing homelessness in Lafayette Parish? The Gifting Grace Project, Acadiana's homeless children's outreach, works to provide and support these children throughout the year. Every donation goes to support these children and provide them with backpacks with school supplies, hygiene products, snacks, and more. Go to giftinggraceproject.com to learn more information or text GGP to 53555 and donate today. Thank you.
Securing America.
There are growing questions on the rules Ukraine has to follow with military equipment and weapons provided to it by other countries. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says because the Ukrainians are facing attacks launched from Russia,
the right of self-defense includes also striking targets outside Ukraine, legitimate military targets inside Russia.
However, the U.S. does not want its materials crossing the border. White House National Security Council Communications Advisor John Kirby.
We don't encourage or enable the use of U.S.-supplied weapons to strike inside Russia.
Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh spoke about the issue during a briefing Tuesday.
Ukraine can be successful in its goals by continuing to take back its sovereign territory and using U.S.-provided weapons to do that.
Adding that each country providing aid can make their own individual decisions. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Implicit bias. We like it because, well, we like it. We take pride in Catholic conservative guy stuff. So this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, grab a weekly whiskey and see if your implicit bias aligns with ours. Implicit Bias, Saturdays, 10 a.m. News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And it looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
An accident, Vero School Road and Ambassador Caffrey happened just under 10 minutes ago, so you might see a slowdown there. Be very careful as you travel around and get to work this morning. Current temperature is 68 degrees. KPEL News Time is 6:53. We've got local and national news coming up in just a few minutes. And we were talking, Mark, about the fact that the Louisiana legislative regular session is winding down. It must end on Monday, but all indications point to them adjourning on Friday after they finish up with a lot of stuff. Watching some of the bills that are up for debate today. Authorizes utilization for carbon dioxide sequestration. That's a big word. A Senate bill, 306 to be exact, increases the penalty for human trafficking involving sexual activity of persons under the age of 18. A lot of crackdowns right now on human trafficking for good reason. Nothing that is kind of, jumps out at me as I look at the list. That said, both of the agendas for the House and the Senate, one is called the Daily Digest, the other is called the Order of the Day. They're pretty packed. And prior to now, the top of the agenda would be all of these petitions and memorials and concurrent resolutions and that sort of thing. There are some resolutions, but there are not nearly as many as there were early on in the legislature. So they're getting down to real business now and trying to get the bills that I know the governor had his eye on passed.
Sure. As much as we've talked about Constitutional Convention, how complicated the Louisiana Constitution is. But you know what?
Right.
In our favor, a lot of this legislation having to do with, for example, teachers cannot go into the classroom and talk about, gender identity and that kind of, that's a discussion for parents at home. Doesn't belong. That's common sense.
Yep.
And another thing is, unlike the federal government, we don't have the funding of our government, its state government, coming down to the wire because why? Well, we have balanced budget provisions.
Yes.
Imagine that. Imagine if we had that in the federal government and we could bring spending under control. Oh, what a wonderful world it would be.
Just some things that might interest you. There is a bill up for reading and final call today for all you fishermen. It provides for largemouth bass bag and size limits, so it will change that. There is a bill that tightens the penalties for porch pirates. I know that'll make a lot of you very happy like me because that is so annoying.
Yes.
And your Ring doorbell or your camera can catch them doing it, but it's a whole nother thing for the police to catch them and arrest them. So anyway, some interesting bills going to be debated today, and we'll see what passes later this afternoon. Current time is 6:56. We've got a look at national news and local news on the way.
This report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
American Airlines is pulling back on its optimistic forecast for the summer travel season. It's lowered its earnings prediction for the period. Also, a key executive is stepping down, and American shares are losing ground. Hess shareholders have approved its proposed $53 billion merger with Chevron. However, ExxonMobil, which has a drilling partnership with Hess, is challenging the deal. Exxon has filed for arbitration with the International Chamber of Commerce in Paris. There could be another energy merger. The Financial Times says ConocoPhillips is negotiating to buy Marathon Oil. Cava Group shares are losing ground. Though the restaurant chain's earnings and sales came in better than expected, the number of people visiting its restaurants is declining. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studio. Find them online at matthewjamestaxpros.com.
It'll soon be up to the jury at the Trump trial. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They'll start deliberating this morning.
Judge Mershon will take about an hour or so to explain the jury instructions, and then the jurors will start to consider the testimony.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the court in New York.
They heard more than 20 witnesses, none perhaps more important than what they heard from Michael Cohen. Cohen, the star witness, has had his credibility shredded by Trump lawyer Todd Blanche. Blanche called Cohen the MVP of liars and told the jury he even lied to them. But prosecutor Joshua Steinglass said Cohen's claims are backed up by other witnesses and what he called a, quote, mountain of evidence against Trump.
He also told the jury the former president falsified records reimbursing Cohen and payments to keep an alleged affair quiet, violating federal election law. We'll likely hear from former President Trump before going into the courtroom, like always. He denies committing any crime, calling this trial political, blaming President Biden, who's going to Philadelphia today.
The Biden-Harris campaign is bringing both the president and the vice president to swing state Pennsylvania today to launch Black Voters for Biden. It comes at a time when Trump is getting 23% support among black registered voters in a Fox News poll. That's up from 8% in 2020. And if it doesn't sound like a lot, in 2020, Biden won about 91% of the black vote, according to a Fox voter analysis. That's down today to 74%.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. It's Election Day in South Africa, where the ruling party that led the country out of apartheid and has been dominant for 30 years could lose the majority in parliament. In South Korea, there's garbage falling from the sky.
We're used to North Korea talking trash. Now they're actually flying it in. Residents in the south warned to stay indoors after at least 150 white balloons carrying plastic bags flew over the border. The South Korean military warning people not to touch anything that may contain filthy waste.
That's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now, and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-887-1010. That's 800-887-1010.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truard is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday, when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate head counts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. The 2 men are considered armed and dangerous. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now through June 2nd. The fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
Your KPEL News Update brought to you by Home Furniture Plus Bedding, with over 40,000 furniture and mattress choices in stock. Take a look at homefern.com.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And it looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident on Southeast Evangeline Thruway right there near Northgate Mall for those of us of a certain age. Also an accident, Vero School Road and Ambassador Caffrey still populating our traffic board. Current temperature, 70 degrees. KPEL News Time, 7:10.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning and welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News on this Wednesday, May 29th. KPEL News Time is 7:12. It's Wednesday, 7 o'clock hour. That means Mayor's Minutes. And today is the 5th Wednesday of May. And we have extended an invitation, and he has graciously agreed, to Duson Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation. Really do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you making the time. Now, you were saying while we were visiting that you are in the second year of your 4th term, so you have a little experience, huh?
Very little, really. Very little experience. Things are changing so much, but I've been here for that length of time. You are correct.
All right, so let's talk about what's going on right now in Duson. If you were to sell Duson to folks and tell them what's happening in your city, let's first talk about residential, because you said there's a lot of residential growth.
Yeah, we have 3 new subdivisions coming up in Duson. We have a King Place subdivision. We're in phase 2. Phase 1 was 102 homes. They're about to start phase 2, which is going to be another 80 homes. When it's all completed, it's going to be 182 homes.
Wow.
On the south side of Duson, which is off of Cameron, we have a Rosemount subdivision, which is going to be 147 homes. And then we're going to have a third one close to a King Place subdivision, with Côte d'Ivoire. That's going to be another 78 homes. When it's all going to be said and done, we're going to have a total of 407 new homes in Duson.
How many did you have prior to that?
Well, we had quite a bit. Well, what we're trying to do is, as I mentioned earlier before the broadcast, we're trying to get rid of some of these blighted homes, which is a problem in every municipality. We have been able to demolish 75 homes and trailers within the corporate limits of the town of Duson and in Acadia Parish, because we were already in 2 parishes.
Right.
And then we got another clearance program grant through our Sellers and Associates, our engineers. We're fixing to demolish another 24, so we could be close to 100 of these blighted homes. So that gives you an idea of how many blighted homes and properties, real estate we had in Duson.
And when you talk about blighted properties, and that word has become, unfortunately, too commonplace in every municipality, and I think all of them strive to get rid of those homes. What constitutes a blighted home?
Well, it has to meet certain criteria naturally. And what really helped us out years ago, I got in touch with Mayor Ray Bork and actually Don Landry, who was an attorney for Broussard Parish, for the city of Broussard at that time. And he gave us all the ordinances and the where-ins and where-outs, so we adopted that and began doing that. But it eliminates crime, devalues the properties that are around it. And since we've got probably one of the greatest chiefs of police on the planet, Kip Judis, he has helped us. And then we got a good workforce, council members and town people to help us, and people are all in favor of this. Now, some of these properties they were under great-grandpa's name and so on and so forth. A lot of these have so many heirs, it's unbelievable. So, but we're struggling, and we're working on it, and it's coming out very well for us.
Mostly what Tracy asked, Mayor, is that I think one of the big criterion for, quote, a blighted property is you've got a massive amount of unpaid taxes.
Correct.
Taxes in arrears, and it just, you have to put an end to that and hopefully get these properties back into commerce.
A lot of these properties, too, the grass is unkept. People have moved out of the Duson area, and the heirs live out of state and so on and so forth. So we've been trying to keep up with some of these properties. We kept up a lot of these properties on the town's expense, and we're slowly getting it done. And it's going to be all right. We're going to get it done.
That's a lot of homes that you guys have gotten rid of, and that's a big deal.
For a small community like Duson, it is. And believe it or not, it's helping. It reduces the crime rate, not because we have a great police force, but we're reducing the crime rate. So we're using some homes, some of these locations for storing drugs and stolen properties. We're in some of these abandoned homes and whatever. And it's just blighted properties. None of us want to live around homes that are blighted.
No.
Snakes and raccoons and possums and, tall grass, so on and so forth.
And it's just ugly, too. It's just ugly.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's just ugly.
So
and no income financially,
right?
As Mr. Pope said, tax wise, and it not only affects Duson, it affects the whole parish.
You mentioned a grant, Mayor. Could you maybe give us a little bit of detail on what those grants allow the town of Duson to do with the blighted properties?
Right now, we got the grant about a few months ago, and we're doing an environmental studies on each one of the sites of the properties, and the grant was for $165,000. The cost for Duson is $40,000, and it's a large amount. It's not much if you look at it another way, and we're gonna get it done. And once it's done, the landowner, it's a no charge to him. He has to give us permission, and once all the paperwork was signed, we turned it over to the state, and we're just waiting on the finalization. We're going to put it out for bid, and then we're going to start demolishing some of these homes.
Yeah, because it's not just that looks like a bad house or whatever, and I can go
it's a process.
Yeah.
Everything is a process.
Yeah, government. Yeah,
especially with the government, but we have been very fortunate as far as receiving grants. We've really been blessed in Duson. We really have.
Now, when you talk about the subdivisions, are all of those within the city limits of Duson?
They're within the corporate limits. We have annexed some properties in Acadia Parish that was just probably sugarcane area, and that's right by Town Hall. We're going to have probably 250 homes right there by Town Hall on Toby and Mouton Road, and then on the south side, right next to South A, right on the corner where Champagnes is, we're going to have a Rosemount subdivision.
Yeah, and
that's a different. Both of those are being contracted by Jeremy Bro. He's the contractor. One is DSL, DR Harton and DSLD is on the other one. The other one is Cody DeVille is going to be the contractor.
Now, and it's interesting that you say that many homes are being built there, because I think about all of the subdivisions. You talked about Harvest Trace with your daughter that are outside the Lafayette city limits, whether they're in another municipality or in a more rural area, because people, when we talk to the real estate folks, Mark, there are certain areas in Lafayette where people are priced out. So they know that if they move 10 minutes down the road, they can get more house for their money.
If you look on the Ridge Road, there is an unbelievable amount of homes being built. Duyon Road, just all over Lafayette, homes are being built, and it's helping the economy. And naturally, the high rate of inflation is a little turning off point, but It's all going to work out in the end. It's just a phase, but it's all going to work out for the town of Duson.
So Mayor, I'm a history freak, and so if you're on Highway 90,
yes,
and you're headed westbound, a lot of those smaller towns, Scott, Duson, head down the road more westerly into Acadia Parish, Rain. A lot of those smaller communities came up because of the construction of the railroad. And as you proceed westbound down 90, you keep seeing those small towns. Can you take that, what I just said, and maybe give us a little history of Duson?
Well, history, as far as Duson is concerned, we were incorporated in 1909, December of 1909, and we were a rail station right there. And we had 3 cotton gins in Duson.
Wow.
And we had the rail station right there. They'd load bales of cotton right there. I remember, we would gravel roads and so on and so forth. And it was mostly, we were a cotton area for the longest time. I picked cotton until I graduated from high school. I graduated in 1968. And in 67, I picked cotton. And I was good at it, but still... That's it. All developed along that railroad structure.
Yes,
and that has been a blessing. And I was talking to a realtor yesterday, and we're trying to get some land right there. we're trying to get it registered. And one of the avenues, we're right there by the interstate. We're 12 miles from Interstate 12, north and south, east and west. We're right there on 10. And we're strategically located, from what I understand. And one of the selling points for the town of Duson, he wanted me to sell was the railroad facilities that we have right there. We have a line right there.
Sure.
That we need to emphasize that as well.
Wow. Okay. So I have a new nickname for the mayor, Cotton Picking Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux. Good work as running Duson, Mayor.
We are going to take a short break, and we will be back to visit with Duson Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux. KPEL News Time is 7:22.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. It looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident, Cameron Street. That is going to be between Apollo Road and Jenkins Road in Scott. 2000 block of Southeast Evangeline Thruway. That's near the Northgate Mall. I still call it that. And still showing that accident, Vero School Road and Ambassador Caffrey. Hopefully that has been moved off the roadway. Be careful in all those areas. Current temperature 70 degrees. KPEL News Time is 7:27. On the way, we've got to look at local news, but we have our Mayor's Minutes going on right now, as we do every Wednesday in the 7 o'clock hour. And we are joined this month by Duson Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux, and what a pleasure it is. I love the cotton story and Mark's new nickname for you. My grandmother years ago used to tell me stories about those things, so that brought back some memories for me. Now, as we fast forward to 2024 and the very near future, we've talked to the Acadiana Planning Commission. We talk to them every week, and they talked about the roundabout that you guys are getting right just north of I-10 at exit 92. I know personally, I'm pretty excited about it. Any timeline on that?
We're supposed to, if everything, we were at 60% approval with DOTD. We got approval through the help of our sellers and associate. Nick Saunier is our engineer. And we should probably start at the end of this year and the beginning of 2025. And it's probably going to take a little over a year. Mm-hmm. The original cost was around $3.6 million, mm-hmm. and our share was 25%. We have gotten with Acadia Parish, since it's in Acadia Parish.
Right.
They're going to pay 12.5%. We're going to pay 12.5%, and which is our share was around $900,000. At our last meeting with DOTD and our engineers, it was around $6.1 million. And
so it had gone up that much.
And our estimate for when it's going to probably construction starts probably going to be around $8 million.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
But, we've gotten some help. We've got $5.2 million from the as far as grants is concerned, to help us alleviate some of the cost of building this thing. But it's going to take a little over a year to build it. We have currently right now probably 19,000, which is the vehicle count, and around 500 18-wheelers that turn in there a day to the Tobacco Plus and to the Love's Truck Stop.
Oh, yeah, and I'm excited because it's really going to make it easier to navigate that intersection right there.
Depending on the time of the day, there's quite a bit of congestion.
Oh, yeah. Because I frequently pull off interstate at Love's right there and get some gas.
I understand.
And we like to go to Cajun Claws and eat.
Cajun Claws, Mr. Shane Spallino was doing
been
a real blessing to the town of Duson.
Oh, yeah. I know Shane and Debbie very well.
They're
What an asset you have.
Very great couple for the town.
Well, and we're going to talk after the news about the new service road you were telling us about, how the roundabout and the service road hopefully will bring some businesses into the town of Duson. We will be right back. We've got to look at local news. KPEL News Time, 7:29.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Lafayette Consolidated Government has its Household Hazardous Waste Day Saturday, June 1st, 8 a.m. till noon at North Gate Mall. You must live in the city of Lafayette or unincorporated parts of Lafayette Parish to properly dispose of paint, poison, insecticide, pesticide, and a whole lot more. Get the complete list of items accepted and not accepted at their website, LafayetteLA.gov. Lafayette Consolidated Government also offering something else, now taking applications for the Youth Advisory Council. This is for youngsters in 9th through 12th grade who reside in Lafayette Parish to learn all about Lafayette Consolidated Government. Deadline to apply is June 15th. There is a very nominal application process, very easy. It includes a letter of reference from a teacher. Get all the details at LafayetteLA.gov.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truard is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. Power has been restored to Acadiana after Tuesday's storms blew through. The severe weather produced winds of up to 60 miles an hour and caused isolated damage in Acadia Parish and knocked out electricity in parts of Acadiana. KATC meteorologist Daniel Phillips says to expect cloudy conditions and rain chances through the week. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday, when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate head counts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. Travis says they were turned away by family members who called the police. The 2 men are considered armed and dangerous. State Senator Cleo Fields, who is a Democrat, says he will seek to represent the state's new majority black 6th district. But U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson believes current district representative Garrett Graves can still win because the presidential race is at the top of the ballot. Graves has said he may run in another district now that the demographics of his district have changed. But Johnson said during an appearance on Talk Louisiana that he opposes that idea. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirt.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. That looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident populating the board on I-10 eastbound in Scott at Mile Marker 97, which is right there near the Scott exit. Also still showing that accident, Cameron Street between Apollo Road and Jenkins Road in Scott. Southeast Evangeline Thruway near Acadiana Mall, not Acadiana, Northgate Mall, excuse me. And we still are showing the accident, Vero School Road at Ambassador Caffrey. Hopefully that has been moved off the roadway. Current temperature is 70 degrees. KPEL News time is 7:40 on this Wednesday, May 29th. And each Wednesday in the 7 o'clock hour, we invite one of our mayors from Lafayette Parish municipalities in. And joining us this week is Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux from the town of Duson. And for a small town, you guys you have it going on. I mean, things are happening over in Duson with new subdivisions, the roundabout coming, and you are really excited about the service road. Tell us about that.
Yes, we built that before I start. I'd like to remember it's one of our city councilman's wedding anniversary today, Mr. Stephen Hanks. Him and his wife, her nickname is Tilly. We'd like to wish them a happy anniversary.
Absolutely.
And we're still in mourning. We, as I mentioned earlier during the break, we lost our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Carol Pepper. So we're still in mourning and over his loss, and he's been a great friend to the town. And but as far as the service road is, it's on the side of Cajun Claws, naturally. We call it Sterling Lane. It's a little over 2,500 feet. It's got all the amenities. It's got sewer, water, cable, internet service. Everything is on there. We've got lights there from Slimco. That's a Slimco area. And it's just ripe for development along that area. We split the property so that we can develop on both sides of Sterling Lane.
Smart.
And we did that when Jack Montuse was our state rep, and we got a grant to get that facilitated.
So have you been in talks with anybody to locate there?
Before COVID, we were looking at, actually we had been in contact with a Chinese restaurant that wanted to move. That was before COVID, and then since COVID, things have been in disarray, to say the least. But we've got a couple of bites, and we got a realtor that has that piece of property for sale. So hopefully we can get something done. And I think once we get this roundabout that we mentioned earlier, that's going to really help. Shane Spallino's got a great business there. It's a fine eating restaurant. And hopefully we can get some more businesses along that corridor.
I think that roundabout is definitely going to be a game changer for that property.
Alleviate a lot of the traffic around that area.
Mayor, I don't recall if you said this on the air, but you definitely told us here in the room, may have been during the break, that part of the development of a town like Duson, I-10 is a big factor in the development of Duson. You have a truck stop there. You have casinos. You mentioned roughly 60,000 cars a day passing Duson on I-10. Right. Roughly, and you went to Birmingham, so I'm going to ask you, what is a good percentage of taking that number of 60,000 cars per day and getting them off the interstate in Duson for whatever reason, eating, gasoline, overnight stays? What is a good solid percentage?
It varies in municipalities. It is my opinion that we live in the best parish in the whole state of Louisiana. It is my personal opinion that we have this group of mayors that we have in Lafayette Parish, that we have the best mayors. If you look at Youngsville, is growing by leaps and bounds. Ken Ritter, Ray Bork these two have been a great friend to me. We have our sisters right on the side of us, Jan Scott. Look at what Jan's doing there in Scott. And look how Karen Crow has used I-49 for growth. They've got Walmart, they've got Super One. It is my intention, as they have utilized I-49, we need to utilize Interstate 10 in our area, because Cameron or Highway 90, it's traveled, but not as much as it used to.
Right.
We need if I'm traveling, I need a reason to get off. I need gas or something, and I need a place to eat. So we're looking at some of these businesses to develop along that interstate area and give them a reason for stop. We have the Super 8 Motel, and we have a lot of business places. We have Miss Mamie's, who's known Waging Cage and so on and so forth. But to me, we need something to draw some of these people for them to exit off. And we need something more than the Love Truck Stop, and hopefully we can get that done. But these service roads they're just ideal for future growth. And we're at the far end. We're on the west end of Lafayette Parish, and we're in Acadia Parish as well. And Lafayette is moving, it's just ballooning and just growing, and it's moving in our direction, and hopefully we can utilize that growth.
It'll be interesting to see, like we were talking with Mayor Ken Ritter and Ray Bork comes in about how those two cities have really, they're butted up against each other at this point. And it'll be interesting to see if Scott grows that far or if Duson grows that far where you guys are closer.
Within the mayors, there's no competition.
No.
We're all working together. Mm-hmm. But when our Mayor Pro Tem, Carol Pepper, passed away, I called Ken Ritter because in his assistance into the procedure how to vote in someone else and so on and so forth. And he was very familiar. Ray has been a great asset. Charlotte Clavel, I've been knowing her and her daddy for years. And Jan Scott has been a great asset. We've all working together as one with our newly elected mayor president. And we're just unified, and we're just working together. It's not a competition for us.
Yeah.
We're autonomous, and we're just working together for one goal, for the betterment, to increase the quality of life in each and every one of our own communities.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We will wrap things up with Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux from the town of Duson. KPEL News Time is 7:47.
Securing America.
There are growing questions on the rules Ukraine has to follow with military equipment and weapons provided to it by other countries. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says because the Ukrainians are facing attacks launched from Russia,
the right of self-defense includes also striking targets outside Ukraine, legitimate military targets inside Russia.
However, the U.S. does not want its materials crossing the border. White House National Security Council Communications Advisor John Kirby.
We don't encourage or enable the use of U.S.-supplied weapons to strike inside Russia.
Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh spoke about the issue during a briefing Tuesday.
Ukraine can be successful in its goals by continuing to take back its sovereign territory and using U.S.-provided weapons to do that.
Adding that each country providing aid can make their own individual decisions. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s. With more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. It looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5. KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All right, we have an accident with injuries. The 3200 block of West Pinhook Road. That is not far from Beaupre Road, so be careful in that area. Also still showing the accident, I-10 eastbound in Scott near the Scott exit, and 6400 Cameron Street in Scott as well. That is Cameron between Apollo Road and Jenkins. Be careful. Hopefully they've been moved off the roadways and aren't slowing you down. Current temperature is 70 degrees. KPEL News Time is 7:51 on this Wednesday morning. Mayor's Minutes in this morning with us is Duson Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux. And Mayor Thibodeaux, before we jump into some of the established businesses in Duson, because there have been some there that have just thrived. I wanted to talk again just briefly. You mentioned something during the break. When you talked about the roundabout, you said the original cost was like $3.2 million, and now it's over $6 million and could approach $8 million. And then you talked about Mayor Charlotte Stemmons-Clavier from Karen Crow has been looking for, I think it's a water plant, sewer plant. That's it. That they're looking at developing that originally was at $50 million and now is at $75 million. Inflation isn't just hitting us at the grocery store; it's hitting towns and cities as well.
Correct.
Hard, it sounds like.
It's in everything. We had a water project that we got a grant for. We were going to go at $2.1 million. Not that we can't handle, but it was for future growth. And we just had to increase our bond by $500,000. Listen, we're doing very well. Our fire rating, Kobe Duyon is the fire chief there. And he's also he's our newly elected mayor pro tem for the town of Duson. Mm-hmm. And our fire rating went from a 4 to a 3. And we've got an excellent police department with Kip Judis, naturally, and our policemen. We've got a great town administrator, town superintendent Kim Alamo, and our town administrator, Ms. Karen Laviolette, who came to us from Karen Crow, who's doing a phenomenal job. And then, of course, we got Burton Calder with Colin and Slavin keeping us on track as far as expenditures are concerned. Our fiscal year ended last year, the end of 2023, and we're going to fixing to get our report. Financially, it's hard to keep up with inflation. Mm-hmm. I've been mayor 14 years, as I've said earlier, and we've been able to give a raise every year. And it sounds like it's a big deal, but when the inflation is high as it is, we're just keeping up with inflation, and there's no extra money. And right. It's the same thing for the town of Duson. It's hard to keep up with the rising costs of everything. But we have been blessed with grants and the video poker revenue, and of course Moon is going to get on me about that, but that's all right. And the sale taxes have been good. We're on the average above last year, which is a good year for us. We're a little bit above 4% this year so far.
And you are fortunate, real quickly, that the casinos are there, because Acadia Parish said that we could have the video poker. Lafayette didn't, but because you straddle it, you have kind of the best of both worlds.
Yes, ma'am. We have the best of two worlds, so to speak. And there again, Moon doesn't like that, but it's neither here nor there. You don't want to gamble, just stay out of the casino.
Sure. You mentioned the fire department, and that's great that you increased your rating. The smaller the number, the better your rating. You increased your rating, your fire rating, from a 4 to a 3. Is your department strictly employees, or is it a combination of a full-time fire department staff and volunteers as well?
It is the fire department in Duson is volunteer fire department. We don't own it. The employees, we have full-time employees there. We contribute to the salaries, and so does consolidated government, because they serve the unincorporated area.
Right.
So They get funding from both locations, from the town of Duson and the consolidated government, and they're able to function as an independent fire department. But we have nothing to do with the fire department. And there again, our fire chief at the present time is Thibodeaux, who's doing a great job, and he sits on the city, our councilman, he's now the mayor pro tem.
Best of both worlds.
It's amazing how much of the state, we have about 30 seconds left, but it's amazing how much of the state is serviced by volunteer fire departments. Because, I remember visiting with Butch Browning and him telling me the stats.
During Kip's administration, we've been able to, all of our policemen have brand new cars.
Wow.
Nice.
Pretty interesting.
Good job, Mayor.
Duson Mayor Johnny Thibodeaux, he will be popping in throughout the year to visit with us and bring us up to date on Lafayette's smallest municipality, but certainly one that brings a lot to the table. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, Mr. Pope. Thank you so much. Again, seeing you so much. And I'm waiting for Moon to comment on my speaking about the casino.
I got Moon for you. KPEL News Time is 7:56.
Report is brought to you by Walter Campbell and Deborah Pierce of Keller Williams Realty. For all of your commercial property needs, reach out to Walter and Deborah today.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's a major energy merger. ConocoPhillips will acquire Marathon Oil in an all-stock transaction. ConocoPhillips chairman and CEO Ryan Lance says the acquisition deepens its portfolio and fits within its financial frameworks. And Lance says the two companies share similar values and cultures. Merck is expanding its eye care business. The pharma giant is buying iBiotech in a deal that could be valued at up to $3 billion. The company is working on groundbreaking ophthalmology treatments. Dick's Sporting Goods shares are higher after its earnings tough forecast, and it is optimistic about this year. And pet retailer Chewy shares are gaining after reporting higher sales and announcing a stock buyback. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette.
News, that is the big question at former President Trump's trial, where in about an hour the jury will get instructions.
That is where Judge Juan Merchan explains the law to them, what they can use, the guidelines, when they start their deliberations. Those deliberations expected to start later this morning.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the court in New York the day after closing arguments.
Prosecutor Joshua Steinglass said the conspiracy to unlawfully influence the 2016 election, you don't need Michael Cohen to prove one bit. The name of the game was concealment. He pointed to two documents that he called the smoking guns in this case that proved Trump's guilt. He said they were Cohen's bank statement and a memo on Trump letterhead, where Trump CFO Alan Weisselberg scribbled the bloated reimbursement numbers to Cohen.
The former president is charged with falsifying records in the reimbursement after Cohen paid Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about an alleged affair before the 2016 election. The former president denies that, and his lawyer told the jury there's no crime and that Michael Cohen's the greatest liar of all time. President Biden will go to Philadelphia today, kicking off a black voter outreach initiative as polls show former President Trump gaining support among minorities. A Republican congressman is narrowly beaten back a primary challenge in Texas.
Less than 500 votes separating Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez and Brandon Herrera, a YouTuber and businessman known as the AK Guy. Gonzalez faced a number of attacks from within his own party that included a censure from the state Republican Party last year for his votes in support of a bill to protect same-sex marriage and a gun safety bill pushed after the Uvalde mass shooting.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz, another House primary winner in Texas, Katrina Pearson, a Trump 2016 campaign spokesperson who appears to be a shoo-in from here. She doesn't have a Democratic opponent in November. And this is a big deal in the oil business. ConocoPhillips buying Marathon for $17 billion. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-887-1010. That's 800-887-1010.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the Cape Hill News app. Now the headlines from the Cape Hill News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truard is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate head counts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. The 2 men are considered armed and dangerous. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now. Through June 2nd, the fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd. at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All right, we have an accident. The 3500 block of Ambassador Caffrey, that is actually near its intersection with Kali Saloom Road. Actually, 4500 Ambassador Caffrey is the intersection with Kali Saloom, and now we have an accident 3500. So Ambassador Caffrey's kind of a mess, more than usual. 3200 block of West Pinhook Road, that's a vehicle accident with injuries. That is not far from its intersection with Beaupre Road. Current temperature is 75 degrees. Good morning and welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News. Tracy Wertz, Mark Pope. It's Wednesday, May 29th. KPEL News Time is 8:11. And on Wednesdays in the 8 o'clock hour, we are joined by Lafayette Parish School Superintendent Francis Touchette, who is joining us by phone this morning, and Nick Jeffers, because you guys have a big event coming up, don't you, Francis?
Yeah, Tracy, we have the Superintendent Golf Tournament that is going to be taking place next Friday. It's something of which it's something of which the community comes together and provides funding for kids that are looking to further their education. And it's been something that has been happening for the last 26 years, and it's really been a really benefit to not only those students, but to the parents. And the parents don't have that heartache as far as the finance is concerned. So we look forward to this event, and it will be something that will fund for the seniors of 2024.
All right, Nick, this is kind of your baby, huh?
Yes, ma'am, it is. It's one of the more enjoyable tasks that I have in my role as Chief Operations Officer. Something I take great pride in, and it's been very rewarding.
Now, tell us what this money goes specifically for.
Yeah, so all of the proceeds, we have a scholarship committee. We have an application process in which seniors across Lafayette Parish School System submit applications. The application is based on a rubric that the committee will use to score the applicants based on 5 areas. One area is financial need. Another area is ACT score, GPA, number of siblings in the household, and then they submit an essay based on a prompt. And then collectively, we take those 5 different measurements. The committee meets, we score, we rank them, and then we take the amount of money that we have generated from the tournament, and we figure out how we're going to divvy that up amongst the number of applicants that we are able to award.
About how many people typically participate?
In the tournament itself, currently we have about 136 golfers signed up. We're a little short of where we were the last couple of years. Last year we had probably about 160 plus. Mm-hmm. So we still have a little room for a couple teams if anybody out there would like to join.
Look, folks who like to play golf, and I'm not just going to say gentlemen because I have a lot of lady friends who love to play golf. If you need an excuse, here you go.
Absolutely.
Next Friday, right?
Absolutely. Next Friday, June 7th at Formed Alley Golf Course in Karen Crow. We're hoping that the meteorologist will call in some beautiful sunshine weather for us that day. We'll tee off at 8 a.m., and we'll have plenty of refreshments, plenty of food, door prizes, and it's always a great turnout and a great event.
Nick, I have a question. You talked about the golf tournament proceeds going to scholarships. You have a scholarship committee. Sounds like you have the process down pat. I'm not sure I fully understand. Could you explain for our listeners, because I never heard that the Lafayette Parish school system or any public school system awards scholarships to what? Graduating seniors to continue their education? Does it have to be college? Can it be VOTEC or community college?
Yeah, it can be basically any post-secondary institution, but it has to be within the state of Louisiana. So certainly trade school, things of that nature, career and technical, or as well as four-year colleges. And that money is allocated over 2 semesters, and so that's kind of typically how we do it.
Yes.
Very nice. That's just a nice addition to any scholarships or TOPS money they're going to get, because let me tell you what, TOPS only covers typically tuition, and with the cost of fees on top of that, you feel, as a parent, you feel like you're paying a whole nother tuition when you look at fees.
Correct. And, this is some supplemental monies that these individuals, hopefully, that are getting other scholarship dollars, maybe TOPS, other methods and things like that. It's just a little lagniappe, as we call it around here, that'll kind of help with some different costs that they may incur towards their post-secondary education. The ranges are anywhere from $500 all the way up to $2,000.
Nice. Okay, so Nick, I have to ask you, are you a golfer?
No, I am not a golfer. I tried when I was younger. I probably should try again. I'm a little bit more patient now as I age. But at the time when I was trying, I was not patient enough, and it's definitely a patient man's game.
That's right. How about you, Francis? Are you a golfer?
No, Tracy, I'm kind of like Nick. I'm just an observer. I'm someone that supports them. But again, no, I don't think I have the patience to be able to take the time to be able to just go through watching a ball just travel wherever it needs to go.
Well, you know what you should do? Here's an idea for you. You should create a bid on the superintendent as your caddy. See? For some extra money, huh? How about that?
Yeah, that would be great. That would definitely raise some funds.
But before we talk about the nuts and the bolts, in other words, how to sign up for the tournament, what, lunch, refreshments, all that fun stuff, I know there's those details behind there, Nick. But before we do that, let me ask about the Lafayette Parish school system. Are there counselors at each and every high school that will work with students as they look ahead to their post-secondary education? In other words, what are your aptitudes? What would be best for you? What schools would fit what you're looking at? Talk about the counselors in the school system.
Mr. Touche, you want to speak to that, or you want me to take that one?
No, go ahead, Nick.
Well, going into their freshman year, every kid basically embarks with their counselor on development of an individual graduation plan, and that kind of gives them a roadmap of where they see themselves, upon graduation. So, yeah, to answer your question, our counselors do a tremendous job. They're very much engaged with the students on a one-on-one basis. You would think that would be difficult considering the size of some of our schools, but it is a necessity that, those counselors get in that one-on-one environment with those kids and really get a feel for what it is that they see themselves doing and pursuing in the future.
Outstanding.
I'm noticing here on the flyer, again, as Mark called them, nuts and bolts, entrants get ditty bags, there are door prizes, competitive games, and there are first, second, and third place awards.
That is correct. Yeah, so it gets very competitive out there. Folks will submit their handicaps, and when I look at some of the handicaps that are coming in as I plug in those participants, I realize that I would definitely be a fish out of water in this field. It's a wide range of individuals, from the folks that are just coming out to have a good time to the individuals that you can tell are avid, regular, high-performing golfers. And so it's a fun field. It is a four-man scramble, so they play the best ball. And it gets very, very, very competitive. And some of those scores that come in are they rank up there pretty well.
Is there a link on your website to enter?
Yes, ma'am. It's on our banner at lpssonline.com, and you can click there, and it'll take you straight to the registration page. And, there are more than one way to contribute, whether or not you are a golfer. If you're a local business that would like to donate a gift card or a service that we can raffle off as a door prize, certainly that's a level of support that is welcomed.
Sounds good. Well, we are going to take a break right now. We've been visiting with Nick Jeffers with Lafayette Parish School System about the superintendent's golf tournament coming up a week from Friday, right?
Friday, June 7th.
All right, KPEL, and we'll be back to visit more with Lafayette Parish School Superintendent Francis Touchette after the break. KPEL News Time is 8:19. The Rustic Renegade is your one-stop shop in Lafayette for firearms, concealment furniture, men's grooming products, and our locally roasted.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. It looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Okay, we still show 2 accidents on Ambassador Caffrey, one near its intersection with Kali Saloom Road, the other one, the 3500 block, which is near its intersection with Johnston Street. We have that accident with injuries on Pinhook near Beaupre Road as well. Current temperature is 75 degrees. KPEL News Time is 8:22 on this Wednesday morning, and each Wednesday morning in the 8 o'clock hour, we are joined by Lafayette Parish School Superintendent Francis Touchette. He is joining us by phone today because, Francis, you are at a very special event. Tell us about that.
Well, Tracy, I'm here in New Orleans. We have our Teacher Leader Summit where we have over 7,000 teachers from the state of Louisiana that is here to collaborate and to learn best practices as far as helping our students. So it's just something of which I feel that, as the superintendent of Lafayette Parish, I need to be here, and I need to be here supporting these teachers and just learning alongside of them.
And you guys have, Dr. Kate Brumley's there and some other, high-ranking, if you will, Department of Education folks.
Yeah, there's several of the state leaders that are here, and it's something of which they're doing just as I, just to, say thank you to our teachers, to thank them for what they do every single day, and to always know that, we are in this business of learning. So that means that not only for our kids, but for us as teachers, we continue to learn year after year to be able to help improve. So it's a great event. It is something of which that teachers really look forward to, and it's just, a great opportunity for them to collaborate amongst the state leaders here.
And you guys were introduced to the 9 teachers and 9 principals that were named Louisiana Teacher and Principal of the Year finalists, and one of those is from right here in Lafayette Parish.
Yeah, we have a teacher, Ms. Joy Stomerker. She is a teacher at Myrtle Place. She is one of the finalists, in which on July 27th they're going to name the Teacher of the Year. So, again, supporting her and supporting the school that again has done so much for a lot of our students in Lafayette Parish as far as French immersion is concerned. So, it to me is just a great recognition to be able to be recognized at that level.
Well, and we congratulate her. Other teachers, just for those listening from the Acadiana area, from Acadia Parish, Elise Boutin, and from Evangeline Parish, Jessica Marie Capseta, all made that finalist list, that is such an honor if you think about it. Not only from their parish, but that they are competing at the state level. That brings me, just as a resident, a lot of pride. It's the 18th annual Cecil Picard Educator Excellence Awards Gala. That will be held, as the superintendent said, on July 27th at the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. When you go to these sorts of conferences, do you, as an administrator, learn things as well? And what do you take away from it?
Yeah, Tracy, there is a section that superintendents are able to engage with other superintendents to be able to learn best practices. But it's also an opportunity to where you can sit in the same room as a teacher and to learn some of these best practices from a teacher level. So I look at it from that standpoint. Today I will be sitting in a biology session to kind of just say, hey, what is it that we need to learn more about preparing our kids when they get to that level as far as biology. So it, to me, is also an opportunity to learn alongside of these teachers to make sure that they understand that even the superintendent has something that they can actually engage with to be able to help them throughout this learning process.
Absolutely. And I was noticing yesterday, or this morning, I read it yesterday, and Mark and I talked about it this morning. One of the bills that Governor Jeff Landry signed just yesterday addresses school administrators won't be allowed to discourage teachers who want to recommend discipline for students who violate school policy or disrupt the classroom. And I've noticed this session that they've done a lot of things to really empower the teachers in the classroom. Is that something you guys are discussing at the state level?
Yeah, what's happening right now is that there was a committee of teachers that got together and really made some recommendations to our state superintendent about what is it that would be helpful for them as far as being more effective in the classroom. And there's several different things that have come about that we at the Lafayette Parish School System we're going to be discussing on Monday. And we're going to be really trying to just, look at it from the standpoint of a teacher and just say, hey, how do we streamline, things so that teachers can really focus on what they need to, which is what students need every single day.
Yeah, that sounds remarkable. And I know there's been a push. Mark and I have talked about this several times to really let them focus on what's important, the reading, the writing, the arithmetic, to get back to the business of teaching. So we appreciate what you guys are doing over there in New Orleans. Please send our congratulations to the State Teacher of the Year finalist. And we know you'll bring some good things back to Lafayette.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mark.
Sir.
That's Lafayette Parish School Superintendent Francis Touchette. Don't forget to register to play in the Superintendent's Golf Tournament, which will happen a week from Friday. Go to lpssonline.com to register. KPEL News Time is 8:28. Going to the grocery store these days is painful, especially on the pocketbook. But man, I cringe when I think about how expensive things are. Rouse's Markets is helping you get through that. Right now, they've got some great weekly specials. Check this out. Quarter loin pork chops, only $1.47 a pound. You're going to save $2.52 a pound. You can get boneless chuck steaks, just $4.99 a pound. Yes, that's beef, $4.99 a pound. You're going to save $3.50. Or how about lean butterball ground turkey? Yep, that's on special too. They've got bacon on sale this week. They've got hot dogs, the beef franks. If you like produce, Bing cherries, that's what we call them, California-grown red cherries. They are only $1.97 a pound. They make a great snack, and you'll save over $5 a pound. You want to stock the freezer? How about fresh split chicken breasts, just $1.99 a pound? And how about some seafood? They've got 16 to 25-count headless Louisiana shrimp, only $5.99 a pound. You're going to save $5 a pound. They've got bacon on sale. They've got hot dogs on sale. They've got easy treats for the kids. They're off for summertime, and you need to make sure that you've got some lunch food around. Well, go by Rouse's Markets. They've got 4 locations in Lafayette, 1 in New Iberia. And let me tell you, the deals don't stop there. They've got some great savings to be had right now at Rouse's Markets.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Lafayette Consolidated Government has its Household Hazardous Waste Day Saturday, June 1st, 8 a.m. till noon at North Gate Mall. You must live in the city of Lafayette or unincorporated parts of Lafayette Parish to properly dispose of paint, poison, insecticide, pesticide, and a whole lot more. Get the complete list of items accepted and not accepted at their website, LafayetteLA.gov. Lafayette Consolidated Government also offering something else, now taking applications for the Youth Advisory Council. This is for youngsters in 9th through 12th grade who reside in Lafayette Parish to learn all about Lafayette Consolidated Government. Deadline to apply is June 15th. There is a very nominal application process, very easy. It includes a letter of reference from a teacher. Get all the details at LafayetteLA.gov.
This is House Call for Health. As we head into summer, pesky mosquitoes make a comeback. And while their bites can cause itchy inflammation, they can also trigger worse health problems if the insect was carrying viruses. Symptoms can include high fevers, head and body aches, nausea, rashes, and more. Besides wearing pants and long-sleeve shirts or not going out after dusk, entomologist Roxanne Connolly with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says,
the easiest way to prevent being infected with a mosquito-borne disease is to wear an effective repellent when you're outdoors.
Officials recommend using EPA-registered products. Adding bug sprays with DEET and picaridin can provide lasting protection. Meantime, the CDC is ramping up efforts to monitor whether mosquitoes are building up resistance to certain insecticides.
What we've done is develop tools to help detect when that resistance might be occurring, and then we can provide recommendations on when to stop using those and when to use other products.
For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Wednesday, May 29th. Chief Paul Truard is Lafayette's interim police chief. The 27-year law enforcement veteran will lead the department while the Boulay administration conducts a nationwide search for a permanent chief. Chief Judith Estorge stepped down from the position effective Tuesday. Power has been restored to Acadiana after Tuesday's storms blew through. The severe weather produced winds of up to 60 miles an hour and caused isolated damage in Acadia Parish and knocked out electricity in parts of Acadiana. KATC meteorologist Daniel Phillips says to expect cloudy conditions and rain chances through the week. At the Capitol, the House voted 67-29 to approve the Senate bill allowing for education savings accounts. It creates the LA Gator program to be phased in for K-12 schools by the year 2025. Senate Bill 313 removes allocation amounts, gives clear instructions to the Louisiana Department of Education, and requires budget approval before Bessie hires any vendor to administer the program. The measure heads back to the Senate for concurrence. Governor Jeff Landry signed legislation sponsored by Kenner Representative Joseph Stagney that makes Louisiana the first state to ban retail sale of nitrous oxide. Stagney says the law is in response to the abuse of nitrous oxide, which is used in food preparation, but also as a party drug. Nitrous oxide has a high chance for abuse due to its quick high and ease of access. The law forbids retailers from selling nitrous oxide to individuals, not to those who need the drug for professional reasons, like dentists. Governor Jeff Landry also signed into law a bill that would make it a crime to stand within 25 feet of a police officer after they order you to stand back. Anyone who fails to follow the law could face up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. ACLU policy strategist Stephanie Willis says the legislation stops Louisianians' ability to hold police accountable, is impractical to enforce, and violates a citizen's First Amendment rights. 2 people drowned at Toledo Bend Tuesday when their fishing barge capsized. 6 people were on board. 4 managed to swim to safety. The incident represents the 3rd drowning in Louisiana since Saturday when a teenager drowned while at the beach in Grand Isle. An Elton man died Monday at Rutherford Beach in Cameron Parish. 2 of the 4 inmates who escaped the Tangipahoa Parish Jail this weekend are still at large. 19-year-old Amarian Hookfin and 20-year-old Jamarcus Cyprian broke through a corroded piece of chain link fence, crawled under an 8-inch gap in a wall, and scaled 2 razor wire fences. Chief Jimmy Travis says lack of supervision, inadequate head counts, manpower shortages, and insufficient experience and training are factors contributing to the escape. Travis says they were turned away by family members who called the police. The 2 men are considered armed and dangerous. State Senator Cleo Fields, who is a Democrat, says he will seek to represent the state's new majority black 6th district. But U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson believes current district representative Garrett Graves can still win because the presidential race is at the top of the ballot. Graves has said he may run in another district now that the demographics of his district have changed. But Johnson said during an appearance on Talk Louisiana that he opposes that idea. The Lafayette Police Department is looking for people interested in a career in law enforcement. enforcement. They're hosting a recruiting physical fitness test day on Saturday morning at the Lafayette Fire Training Center. Applicants should arrive at 7:45 dressed in workout gear, including athletic shoes that's appropriate for doing push-ups, sit-ups, a 300-meter sprint, and an officer down drill. LPD recruiting staff will be on hand to answer any questions about employment with the department. The event is a requirement of the application process. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
Pack your bags. We want to send you and a guest to experience the magic of Def Leppard's Summer Stadium Rock Tour this August. We want to fly you and a guest to San Antonio, Texas, where you'll see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band in concert at the one and only Alamo Dome. What do you need to do? It's simple. Just listen to News Talk 96.5 KPEL weekdays for the codes you'll need to enter. Every day between now and June 7th at 9, 12, and 3 p.m., you're going to get a code. Enter that into the KPEL app, and you've got a chance to win. You'll get 2 tickets to see Def Leppard with Journey and the Steve Miller Band at the Alamo Dome on Friday, August 16th. Round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night hotel stay, and $500 spending money. If you don't have the KPEL app, you need to download it immediately. Listen every day at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the Summer Stadium Rock Tour with Def Leppard and Journey on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Apply.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. That looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All right, we have still those 2 accidents on Ambassador Caffrey showing up, one near its intersection with Johnston, another near its intersection with Kali Saloom. I'm sure they've been moved off the roadways, but if you are slowed down, that is why. Current temperature is 75 degrees. KPEL News Time is 8:41 on this Wednesday, May the 29th. May is almost done already.
No.
Couple of big announcements. You might have heard some of them, or at least one in the news there. We have a new interim chief of police for the Lafayette Police Department. And last week when Mayor President Monique Boulay was in, she talked about the fact that they would start a nationwide search for a permanent police chief, and the CAO, Rachel Godot, is going to lead that effort. And one of the things that I've been impressed by with Mayor Boulay's in Mayor Boulay's administration so far is her willingness to be very intentional and deliberate in her choices. She didn't rush to fill the LUS fiber slot. There were a lot of these slots that she's really taken her time to choose the right person to mitigate turnover, but also to make sure that that person is right for Lafayette City Parish government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is commendable.
So Paul Truard is now the interim police chief. He is a 27-year law enforcement veteran. In other news, yesterday, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, joined the show Talk Louisiana, and one of the things that they discussed was Louisiana's new majority black 6th district. And there's been some chatter over the last few days about Garrett Graves and whether he will run in the 6th district or whether he will decide to run for another seat. And the speculation is that if he has his eye on any of them, it is Julia Letlow's seat. Mm-hmm. Of course, she is in her first term after being elected. When her husband passed away during COVID, he was unable to take office before he died. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic. Cleo Fields has already said he will throw his hat into that ring for the election that happens in November. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I don't think that the door is closed. In other words, we're going to use this current map as ruled by the Supreme Court, but then I believe once we get past the November election, there will be challenges. As far as Graves versus
Cleo Fields or
Cleo Fields, thank you. Yes, I don't know about that. It's not my district. It's going to be interesting. I think, there's speculation, but I guess we'll see. But look, it's time right now to fish or cut bait because the election is just literally, figuratively, really, just around the corner.
Yeah, and qualifying's in July for that race.
Yeah, yes, which, again, just a month away. And Garrett Graves, being a Republican running for that, quote, majority minority district might be a bit of an uphill challenge.
Well, and I look at name recognition too, and Cleo Fields is the name is well known around the state. He's been in politics for a while. Now Garrett Graves is no newbie, but he was well known within his district. Is he that well known throughout that new 6th district? And as everything, Mark, as with every single election, it is going to come down to who turns out to vote.
True.
Will Republicans overwhelmingly show up? Will the Democrats overwhelmingly show up? It's just going to depend on who actually goes to the voting booth to cast their ballot.
Sure. And, one thing, and I'm going to have to come back to this article because here the title of the article is What Will Garrett Graves Do? Mike Johnson has some ideas. Yep. So I'm going to go back and read that. But
last night, on his appearance at with Talk Louisiana, he said that he felt like Garrett Graves had a shot of winning re-election and that he was not in favor of Garrett Graves running in another district. He thought that would be a mistake. On Garrett Graves' part. So, again, that's his opinion, but I think he's got a good handle on what's going on in Congress, what that environment's like, but also doesn't want to upset the apple cart, I would think, here in Louisiana in terms of our representation in Washington.
Sure, no
because
doubt.
What happens, you look at the dynamics. What happens if Garrett Graves jumps into Julia Letlow's race and then another person, a Democrat, jumps into that race as well, and then all of a sudden you may be splitting the Republican vote and the Democrat is walks right up the middle, so to speak.
Right. And as we continue this discussion this week, next week, and into the future, here's one thing I have not heard. Majority minority district. What percentage? I have not heard that. Now, if it's 52% minority, 48% non-minority, if you will, then yes, Garrett Graves has a choice. I do not know the percentage of breakdown in this new majority minority. Did I say that right? Minority, majority.
A majority, minority. It's a majority of the minority, yes.
Stick in a preposition there, of minorities, yes. So I'm going to be looking that up because to me that is a very important factor about looking at whether Garrett Graves, who has a chance, who has the best chance, is it determined to a large degree by demographics or not? So we'll look into that and discuss that in the future.
No, that makes sense. And I've heard, I don't know if it was Moon or Joe who mentioned that they had those numbers, and it's not a vast majority. I do know that.
That's what I speculated.
KPEL News Time is 8:47.
Democracy 24.
President Trump took the stage in the South Bronx in a blue state and an even bluer city. Thousands showed up. Many of those in line were both Latin American and Black Americans. We were able to talk to voters, and they said they are upset with the border because their families immigrated here legally. Others said that crime was a big issue, that they had changed their affiliation from the Democrat Party to the Republican. Energized voters like Anson Paul from the Bronx says the discount discontent within the Democrat Party is growing, particularly among minorities, and to not count them out.
This is just like a small microcosm of what's happening nationwide. You know, if the sentiment is growing pro-Trump here in the Bronx, hopefully it's the same thing echoing in Michigan.
President Trump is narrowing the gap in the Empire State. President Biden has a lead of just 9 points, according to the latest Siena College poll. In the South Bronx, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
And the loudest voices on the biggest issues impacting your life.
Hi, hello, welcome Moon Griffon Show.
Continuing the long tradition of informing you in Acadiana. News Talk 96.5, KPEL. Depend on it.
We've got a sunny start to the day, but I think those clouds will start to build up a little later in the afternoon. Highs will eventually get to about 90 degrees, and widely scattered showers and a few thunderstorms going to be possible by the later parts of the day. Winds are going to come from the south at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Overnight lows tonight down in the lower 70s, with more unsettled weather on the way for both Thursday and Friday. And it looks to continue into the weekend. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5, KPEL. Right now, traffic.
The only accident left on the board now. Good news, Ambassador at Johnston. They have plenty of place to pull that off the roadway, so hopefully that has happened. Current temperature on this Wednesday morning is 75 degrees.
If you see a faded sign at the side of the road that says 15 miles to the
KPEL News Time is 8:52 as we wrap up the show on this Wednesday morning. And Mark, we started early this morning talking about the fact that the jury is going to get all of the evidence, the testimony, that sort of thing, and start deliberations in the trial of former President Trump. A lot of information on Fox News, and one of their guys who writes opinion pieces, his name is Mark Penn, said it basically boils down to a few things. Could come down to the debates, who he picks for VP, these court cases, and how the minority is going to vote. And people, I think, are still waiting to see who he will choose as a running mate. There's been speculation. There's even odds. Like, you can bet on it.
I am not a betting man.
Me either, but
that is right.
They'll let you bet on anything, right?
I'll bet you a soda water.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it. And so anyway, look, as I look at these, Elise Stefanik, the mayor, the governor, Glenn Youngkin, Kristi Noem, and Tim
Scott from South Carolina. He's a South Carolina.
And I was going without looking at the caption, but look, all capable, competent people, no doubt about that. I don't know what you look at. I think, look, how about consider this, okay? Nikki Haley, former governor of South Carolina, former ambassador, U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, very smart, very competent. How about this? Trump says, look, I can govern. I can work with the other side. Nikki and I didn't see eye to eye. Things may have gotten a little bitter, that's the way politics is. But what if he chose her and used that as a demonstration that I can work with anybody as long as they have the same mindset with me as improving the country? Doesn't always have to be my way or the highway. I think that would buy him great political capital as far as getting votes. And
people have encouraged him to choose somebody who's a little bit more center. But if you're looking to play the odds, Tim Scott is being given a 21% chance of getting the nod. Coming in next is Elise Stefanik, followed by J.D. Vance, the Ohio senator, and then Tulsi Gabbard at 10%. So those are some names that I don't know. I'm not familiar with those folks, but I think that it's from those four we talked about earlier.
Yeah, well, Tulsi's very outspoken, a military veteran, a pilot, served in the House of Representatives. dropped out of the Democrat Party.
Really?
When they went cuckoo, which has not been that long ago. I like her a lot. I love listening to her. And I remember a patriotic speech from quite a while back, and I was highly impressed with Miss Gabbard.
Some other candidates that they've tossed into the mix, if you'd like to put a few bucks on them. 12-1 odds is North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, former Trump Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, 16-1, and former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin at 25-1. So who knows? I really think that he's got his eye on Tim Scott.
I like Tim Scott.
Me too.
I vote for Tim.
Yep. Agreed.
I like Tim.
Somebody call Donald. Let him know that's
we'll
our
pass
choice.
him out.
KFL News Time is 8:56. Thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we have Lafayette Live. We will talk again to Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay, and then our law enforcement segment when we will be visited by some city police chiefs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll join us. Have a good day. God bless.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's another big energy merger. ConocoPhillips is buying Marathon Oil. You've been paying more for oil and gas. That means oil companies have more money to do merger deals. The deal is valued at $22.5 billion, including $5.4 billion in debt. It must be approved by Marathon Oil stockholders and regulators. Dick's Sporting Goods shares are sharply higher, up nearly 8% after upbeat earnings and an optimistic forecast. Sales rose more than 5% at existing stores compared with a year ago. Abercrombie & Fitch also topped expectations, and it is boosting its sales forecast for the year. And pet retailer Chewy also reported a better quarter than predicted. Chewy says the year is off to a solid start. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Get ready for something fresh and exciting with the Josh Guillory Show. Josh Guillory brings a new perspective to the airwaves, analyzing news and issues coming out of Baton Rouge and Washington, D.C., and breaking down how they affect you. Engaging, raw, and informative, Guillory knows how to have fun while delivering the latest in politics and current events. With daily features that entertain and inform, you won't want to miss a single episode. The Josh Guillory Show, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, only on News Talk 96.5, KPEL.